Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mindseye. So we have been off for about a week. We're going to see exactly what's going on. And when we see this, exactly how it's playing out, you just can't even get anything right or wrong. So when I look at it and I say, you can't even do anything to the highest degree of none, it's still out there. It really is. But it really is going to be nasty. So when I actually pull this card, this Knight of Swords, and we're doing a little bit of a catch up, it goes that, the Knight of Swords, it's going to come in a little bit swifter than what we anticipate. So what is it? It really is anything and everything and something and nothing. When you see this, it has to do with money, like always. Like this is just normal. What are we supposed to be doing? But when I look at it and I see the Queen of Wands, it's already out there in the media. It's about healthcare, on how Department of Justice came in so swift overnight that they couldn't even believe that they went in that hard with healthcare. Now, when I see this, I say this, it was strong. It was strong what they did. When I see the Nine of Cups in reverse, it definitely is something like you can't get and gain and gather together. That you see this and you see this Five of Swords, and it really is this like pull and take away. But when I see the Five of Pentacles, I go, wow, you can't even do. You can't even do. The Five of Pentacles on the table really goes to the highest degree of none, that you can't even see it coming whatsoever. So when I see none, I actually see none. I don't know why. You want to say religious aspect, but it really isn't. I feel like it's almost 2 point blank. When I see the Page of Cups, I see someone actually walking to the office and saying, so I want to talk to you about something. And when I see this and I see, 10 of Pentacles, I go, wow, you can't even believe how secure that whole thing was, that you can't even do. You can't even do. When I see the Fool and I go, no, it really was a new journey. So I'm seeing like retirements, I'm seeing assets, I'm seeing like no allocations on whatever is coming next. That the Three of Wands, you can't foresee it. You cannot foresee it. When I see the Queen of Cups, it really had to do with alignment with this last past summer solstice, I would have to say, where nobody could really see what's coming and you weren't meant to see what's coming. When I see the moon, I have to say it is a mystery. Because when you actually look at appearances, everything is fine. They're there. They're supposed to be there. Everyone showed up. But then all of a sudden, there is a long pause. And you go, all right, what else is there? The Page of Pentacles, I see pieces of paper. I see court. I see basketball. I actually see how nasty it actually goes. And I say, why does that like come in? This is all day in this house. Like energy flows in so hard to where entities, orbs, and you can see the energy fly right in and try to cut you. It's a railroad. It is the yellow sign that we've been looking for at the railroad. This individual is like passive, and then you go, you really can't. With the Eight of Cups, you go, no, you can't even believe it. You can't even. With this King of Cups in reverse, there's no attunement. It's like, didn't you hear it? Didn't you hear it? And I don't want to scare anyone. I'm not fear monger, like I always say. And I'm not doing anything of that nature. But I see this Ace of Cups, and I go, it's highly counterintuitive, some of these individuals that are out in the public doing things. Like all of a sudden they're like done and they go and do. So when I see this and I see the Queen of Swords in reverse, there is like no logic to the point of like birds flying and then birds fly and they're gone. So what is actually going on? This is like worse than every movie and book put together, put out there. When I see the star, you go, I can't even believe it. You can't even see the fulfilled wishes. When you see the world in reverse, holy cow, you can't even see the incomplete cycle to the whole point of justice, balance. So I'm seeing the justice card. It really means balance. It really does. When I see the Empress, it has to do with feminine energy. Feminine energy. When I see this and I see the Lovers card in reverse, there is breakups to separations, even with friendships, to jobs, everything. You name it, it was already right there. The King of Wands, it's honorable though. And then it becomes derogatory. So when I see the Page of Wands, I go, no way. No way, no way, no way. It's like a young kid who goes in and says, yeah, I'll do it. Yep, I'm going to do it well. When you see this to the Six of Wands, it's a victory. And when you say victory, it really is helicopters flying over. That's a victory. You got your flights. And it's not poking fun because we want a done to many situations in the public. That is absolutely absurd. To the Knight of Pentacles, where you say, no, I'm not renewing anything monetarily with you or any way, shape, and form, because I need to use this card, the King of Pentacles, and say it's secured. Absolutely secured. Everything I need. My assets, my money, my IRA, all of it. All of it. When I see this Ten of Wands, though, in reverse, holy cow, less of a burden. To a degree. And I actually have to say, I have to look at astrology. So as we are in July, today is July 1st, and we're looking at July 1st, and I'm saying that, astrologically, all is just like, it's known. Like, it's like rose-colored glasses, despite all. And when you see it, and you actually see the natal charts, and you see the way the constellations and the suns and the moons and everything plays out, that you go, it really is more masculine energy that's coming through. So you're going to see harder, like Mercury. You're going to see harder, they want to say Saturn, but I really don't feel Saturn. I feel more Neptune. And I feel more Pluto at the end of the month, especially around Lionsgate. Secured. Like the way that it plays out, you're getting everything stabilized. Stabilized in July. Why? Like, are we bankrupt or something? It's a struggle. It's still a struggle to move forward on something that truly happened. Balance, temperance, even up to, like I said, walking. People walking and tripping. When I see this and I say they're not intoxicated, the Five of Wands goes, you still got to run medical. I'm aware. So when I look at it and I go, it really hurts. It really hurts. When I see this Tower card, it really is just energy. It really is. It's really nothing like lined and tied and bonded and tethered down or locked up. It really is just clean air energy, like we talked about in a couple of videos last June. That when, this hole in this ozone that has been documented, that you have to look at it and you have to say clean air energy is flowing through and disturbing everything. it will make no sense down to your senses where you can't even see straight. When you see this, the Four of Wands, there is no getting together, but then all of a sudden you're on universal precautions. So let's talk about July 4th, because this one really hurts. This is the energy of this deck. It's the Nine of Swords in reverse. And we don't really know why, but it is on the table. So let's actually talk about the current events that actually happened. So yesterday, we had, the end of Pride Month, and they had a parade, a march. And when you find March, you actually see what they were doing, and everyone could say it really is derogatory, but really, what was it? They're showing their detriment to a degree. If you see it and you hear it and you feel it, what is the detriment is everything, anything about exploitation. That's what I saw. I don't know what anyone else saw, but just put it right out there and leave a comment. So when I see it, it looks like they are grandiose. This is the Seven of Cups. Like they have no skill whatsoever in the workforce. And it goes to the highest degree of none. But when I actually see it, I see a ton of options. I look and I say, I can't believe that actually happened to you. Because there actually is a law. You've got to be bipartisan. You've got to have a little bit of expansion and compassion. And just look through what's actually really going through their eyes and ears, and maybe wonder them that they're not well and showing up to work. It actually goes to the point of where's the sleeper cells? Well, I have to say, just drive down the road. You can't conjure. This is what's odd about it. Usually historically with terrorist attacks or about to have something's going on, there's something about rituals and dates and current events on how it aligns up. Nothing is really lining up except 4th of July and Lionsgate. There really isn't. So when I see it, there is no conjuring with this pixie card. It really is true. It really is true. Now, when I actually look at it and I say, where is this to the highest degree of most? Everyone's going cross-eyed. The Five of Cups in reverse means it is alleviated just by making a present to a presentation. Most of them can't even get their words out. So when I look at it and I go, Two of Swords in reverse. No, Two of Swords upright. They can't even see past their nose, like I said. Now, as it lines up with other things, you have California, and then you have the other incident of more fires, and then you have Idaho fires. You have to say, see, I told you. It really is still going on. It has to do with purposeful deceit of a walk-on to a move it on up to a move it on out and get it out of here. Because this Empress card came in and goes, get it out right now. What they did. What did they do? What did the last 4 to 19 years, what did they do? We don't know. But all of a sudden we're starting to connect dots, some other people have been talking about. We know we had David Wilcock talking about the prophecy in 1999. That was coming through. Don't do anything with reuniting with family members if you're in a situation until you have an arrest. Arrest. Because it's going to slam you with energy. It has nothing to do with stars and moons. It has to do with predictive movement of purposeful deceit. It actually is astrology term. When Neptune and Pluto and Saturn and Uranus go haywire and drop a bomb through the sun and make an eclipse. So when I see it, I say, the biggest one, for Leos is hold your tongue, keep your mouth shut. I can't even do it. There's no prudency. Just be careful. Just be careful. When I look at it, though, I go, oh my God, can't even. I can't even be. The Queen of Cups actually really wants me to be counterintuitive, a little bit less psychic. Oh, okay. And then other psychics are like, that's my job, to be psychic, intuitive, instinctive, and help you exactly what I'm saying. It doesn't matter what the psychics are saying. You can whoever you're drawn to at that moment, it's fine. So it really comes down to like a type of contract. So we're talking about a lot with soul contracts. It really is on the table because, as we talked about it, and it goes right into how people are having more psychosis, even with medical marijuana. What is going on? That is exactly what Elton John and Bono were talking about. Look through your glasses. Oh, I'm looking through my glasses. I'm like, I can see it. Sometimes you actually got to get colored glasses to see what is floating around you. Page of Wands. I see and hear them bring back some old habits. And go, yeah, still works. Yup, this trend still works. So when I see it and I go, there it is. All of a sudden you got, hey, I'll offer you like $5-10. Can you go look at this? What do you see with this? What is your opinion? Most of the time, that's what happens prior to law enforcement or anyone else showing up at the scene. They're like, what do you think of this? Because I really can't see it. It usually means they are obstructed to obtrude from seeing something. But they swear they caught a glimpse. Now, excuse me. As we flow and fall through, let's look at the animal oracle. There is a lot to catch up on. A lot to catch up on. So let's talk about Kohlberger. So he had a plea deal of guilty, no death row, life without parole. And then we have the family appropriately finally stepping forward of one of the victims. What do the cards say? What is actually going on with the situation? Because the energy in the courtroom is dusty. Frequency. There's something frequent. Fly by night. You'll see it as a moon and a lock. Like a locker lock. Am I calling it out? No. It's just that easy to see. When I see a spider, I actually say, all of a sudden people are like, I actually got cobwebs. I've been saying this for a while. I really, really have. When I see this and I see firefly and I go, no, I'm not really doing a whole lot here. But is there like an increase in lightning bugs? Let's talk about alligator Alcatraz. There's something about that whole thing where you go through it and you go, are they going to start talking about reptilians? It's right there. Right there. When I go through it, I go, beach. To bleach. Bleach. What do we need to know about that? Let's go to the Akashic Tarot. It has to do with like a form of control. Whatever, there is a form of control going on. A opposing views, like two different worlds. You can't even believe how hard it was to get out. There it is. When you actually look and you see like physicians and doctors and nurses and any clinical staff, you actually have to look at it. You look at them and go, what is going on? This is not, well, I mean, it's not karmic, but it is pretty heinous in there. They're like, it's Hain in there. You can't contain a few things in there. When I see the garden and I go, nope, go right through. It's not really tilling and tulling and cultivating and being forward that I can't even be. When I see the architect in reverse, it's not built. There's no design. There's no goal for it. But when I see the King of Keys, it's cured. Like salami, ham, sandwiches, turkey. It's derogatory, a turkey sandwich. When you see winged messengers, uh, you, you want to speak with your afterlife about Kohlberger. Because there's something about like, there's no demise prior. Something about a trip. And when you go through it, you go to the bird's nest and you go, holy cow, the Akashic field goes through and you actually see the northern lights. You see the pink and the blue and all the colors at sunrise to sunset. And you go through this, views of the Vigo. I don't even want to know where that came from. But when I see it and I see this ego, you can't even do. Archangel Raphael. Yep. No offering. But I see trees. There's something about trees by the month of August where everyone's like, did you see that? Did you see that tree? I don't see a whole lot of like new. Going all the way into the fall. And when I see Uriel and the Sphinx, it really still is alligator Alcatraz. Uriel and the Sphinx, it's not foretold, it's not prophesied, it's not predicted. This is really hard, even for psychics. So when you see summer and winter in reverse, I see red car, blue car, white car, wait. Usually at that time, as a psychic, when you can't see the cars or anything else because nothing is the way it is flowing, even by something that's written, even to the scrolls, you can't. You have to use your will, your wisdom, and your mind, and you have to actually just read the energy day by day. Day by day. Will and wisdom and mind really is about conjunction and conjuncture. But when we go to injunctions, you can't even believe. The true terminology is when they do an injunction and they look through, they're really looking for what is hidden beneath the truth of all, even as foreseen and put out into the media and where everyone sees it through. When I see it and I go, the ascent is so hard, you actually are in a down position. You actually are going to meet people you probably shouldn't have met at all. Loving elementals. Mineral water. Let's go back to that. What is going on with that? What clarity do we need about mineral water? mineral deal. It's like a bomb off. It's like a bomb went off. Like, literally. You can't even see it coming. Like, worker starseed. I have to say, like, who wrote this script? Who wrote this script? This was so bad. So bad. Light worker starseed, serve the world by being you. Serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Like I said, you're not going to see it coming. The letter C. What else about this mineral water? It really truly is about nourishment, body care, and tenderness and rest. There's something about they need it. They need it. Soul memories and gifts. I feel like this is like a past life memory or something that was remembered through documents and research, that at a certain point, if this had happened, they need minerals. So when I see this, seeing potential bringing unconsciousness to light, it's like it's already there, and you really should, depending on health status. When I see power places, ley lines, and trust where you're led, I feel like I see Iran, I see Pakistan, I see Uruguay, and I see another Middle East country where they're looking and they're like, yeah, it's right here. But I feel this is actually trolling from the universe. He says you're part of a team of souls and you call in support. First it was Elon Musk, and now it's President Zelensky. Isolation, physically. I feel like this is already preparation for what is to come. It's not really too much of a premonition. I'm not panicking or flipping out. When I see this, I see coping mechanisms, density addiction company. I feel like there was something, because they're already talking still, like in the news. They were saying how they're trying to reform marijuana. When I see this physical and emotional healing, again, it's all it wants us to know. There's what do we need to heal from? Soul growth, conflict. Are we not growing up? Multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. I feel like there's more people that need to be seen that actually have some issues with side effects. So when I see life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning, I see like a bachelor's degree. There's something about a bachelor's degree that actually comes out of that study. All right. What else do we need to know? This is like what they used to call hard on wood. It's not derogatory, but hard on wood literally means that when you cut a tree down, maybe you're doing firewood or like a cord of wood, it splits. So it has to do with the body, and you see the wildflowers, and it really goes like announce to a time of like a ray, but really it comes to a truth. Again, wildflowers, like a silent growth, has to do with like eyesight. When I see the body, again, health toxicity, what's going on with us? It's happened before. When I see this and I go, white dress, it's right there. It's literally right there. I couldn't even do it. When I see the dark, I go, I already know. I already know. I already know. Hidden growth. Something about hidden growth, like untamed venture, what haunts us. It feels like a time capsule from 1999, I'm seeing like 1929, 1939. It is a container. It's like a movie, Monster Inc. about a loss. I do see Ireland, that huge uncovering about 800 individuals from an orphanage that they found from the 1800s. When I see this, I don't know why I see like the eyes again. Like it has to do with visual acuity. When I see this, it's highly fated. You did not see it coming. It's a working together and like everything. When you see this and you see the snail, a type of growth. It's like a type of growth. When you see the spider, it is a type of gaslighting. Working with the community. Foretold. Census. I feel like it's something about the occult. There's something about growing about the occult. I do hear, I feel like the Illuminati. Let's go to the poker cards. So when I look at this, let's look at the Illuminati. These are some old like organizations that are starting to be talked about, like the Blacklist and such like that, the Cabal, the Deep State. What else do we need to know? All right. It has to do with a group of people, unbeknownst. They do come in like five pairs. When I see this and I see the Six of Clubs, it is an organization. They are known. They come in suit. They come with like typing to like cut something. When I see this, I see it's diamonds in the rough. When I see this and I see the five, there's money on the table. Like there's propositions. Why did I hear proposition 8? So when I look at it and I go, Queen of Spades, that's like a type of lockdown. I hear New York. I hear everything go all the way down to Arkansas, Alabama. And I see it all the way through to the highest of known. To the highest of known. When I see this Jack of Spades, I go, it is a pair, it is a flying, but when you go, it's a goal post. It is a goal post. King of Hearts, it's a bigger organization, like a military, but not a military. When I look at it and I go, this Jack of Clubs comes in and it comes all in through, you can't sue anyone. Like I said, don't be so harsh. You can go ahead and press in the court, but you can't do it done. You can't do it done. So when I look at it and I go, the 8 of Hearts, it's a getting together in communities. Did we even get back to July 4th? So let's actually review. What is actually truly going on? Because we're seeing it actually true. When you try to dig deeper, it is height, it is width, it's a hedge, it is like through down to the car, and then you see untussledness. When I go on through, you can't even press through. So what is actually going through when you see things like AutoPen and then you see signings? You think people are a little ticked off? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. When you actually go through it and you go through it on a piece by piece note, you can't sue anyone. This is all the conversations that are out there. You can't even believe it. But go ahead. It's okay. Go to court. It's okay. You can go to court. That is your right. All right. Father of Cups to the 5 of Swords in reverse. It's a cutaway at intuition to instinct, to where you have upper gastric reflux, everything. And when I go through, I'm like, this is like a repeat and repeat. It really is. It's right there. It's so hard to see until it starts happening to you. It really has. It did not happen in World War One. It did not happen in World War Two. Maybe an inkling in Vietnam, proposedly in Korea. Nothing about the Cold War. Nothing about the Cold War. And when you go through it, you say 9/11, and then you go trolling, and it goes right to the 70s. So when I see it and I see this Eight of Pentacles, it really is like a foretold to the foretelling. It's something like grandma and grandpa has like told you, like, if you didn't do this, it's going to happen to you. And then it actually happens. So when you look at it and you see the Daughter of Cups, it is a small offering. It is a little emotional, but it really is true. It really is true until it happens to you. You can't spell. All of a sudden you're like, my sinuses hurt so bad. And I'm coughing and sneezing right here in July. And I look at this and I go, holy cow. I can't even move. I can't even be. I can't even see anything. Father of Pentacles. No. Can't even be. Can't even be. This whole thing would actually go through with the Four of Swords in reverse. The Three of Pentacles. Nobody's on the same page. I highly doubt it. There's something else going on. Eight of Cups to the Seven of Cups to the Nine of Cups. All is in review on the Middle East. Oh, what was going over there? All right. So let's see. Let's see. What do we need to know further about healthcare for the rest of the week? At least for today. Nothing is known. In the community right now, everything is a cleanup. Right now in politics, everything is like foretold to foretelling and trying to pass that big bill. Everything. What's in that big bill? Yeah, big, beautiful bill. It is a type of liberation. This is odd that both of this is on the split. It's the Death card to the Devil card. It really is an ending to something that is supposed to end almost immediately, and you can't do it. You're sitting there like, okay, is it going to go through? Yeah. Yeah, I see it. It's going to go through. When you go with this and you go with the Ten of Swords, no alleviation. When I see this, the Page of Pentacles in reverse, holy cow. And I hear release on that. When it comes to the media, as far as the rest of the day, everything is a little bit cantankerous. I'd actually watch out. They might be a little sharp with their words because there was no like seeing about certain things that are happening. It has to do with like revenue. When you do this and you go, can't even be it whatsoever. High end, high low. As far as love and relationships, you're not well planted. Not well planted. I feel this is like more of like the Great Severing that they were talking about, this Two of Cups. Everyone's looking through records. And when they're looking through records, they go, there was supposed to be a breakup. Like, historically, there was supposed to be a breakup. Why is it like taking too long? Where is this divorce that shocked everyone? I bet you anyone didn't put it out there. Or is it media that's not being covered? I don't know. Seven of Swords in reverse. It was a cut through. Four of Pentacles, almost like too secured. It felt like everything that was not supposed to be there. Like, did I hear it? Did I hear you correctly? Unrest. You can't even believe like how hard it goes to the highest end. Eight of Swords in reverse. It has to do with healthcare, with the media, and the way that it plays out. It's not what you see on what's actually being like everything happening. There's like a lot of like free will choices of people really not doing a whole lot. When I see this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, I go, no skill. There's no skill. Then you got Trey out in the Middle East. And he's really doing everything that he should be doing. Everyone's happy though. And you go, oh my God, this is like a really uncomfortable conversation. That is how it is with this whole psychic layout from the last like 10 days. Nobody knows what's going on. The stuff that we want to know is probably not being covered. The stuff that we need to know is being covered. All right. Tarot Sacred Kingdoms. Gosh. And like all of a sudden you go, where did that come from? Right on air. Right on air. Right on cue. Cue drops are coming back. So when I say what is not really being covered right now, I'd have to say about lemon laws. I'd have to say about knowing exactly what the vehicle is doing. I'd have to say about cigarettes. I'd have to say about with healthcare, anything about cancer. But when I'm looking at the holistic community with a W, which has to do with Reiki and all of those things, the alternative methods of healing, I have to say it's a force shown going, which really means like it was like a get it out of here, which is actually heinous. Like that's against the rights. It really is a put out. A put out. When I see this and I see the Six of Swords, when I see everyone in this boat, it is a little bit hard. A little bit hard. When I see this and I see the Four of Pentacles, no securement. That's all you need to know. So I feel like something actually came through and like gave bay and gave way to lay and went absolutely, absolutely. When you see this and I see this King of Wands actually come in through, I go, yeah. There's something about sitting honorably. Sitting on, it's right there. It's so hard. It's so hard when you see it. It's by in August, like by August. When you see Four of Wands in reverse, no get together. No get together. I don't know why. They don't know the letter Y. Like I said, feminine energy that came in. This whole thing has to do with like toxic feminine energy now. There we go. Everyone is showing their teeth again, seeing their girls to the point where they're actually selling girls, and they have free girls right there on the side of the road. When you see this, it's already known. It is a troll play, but it's doing good. You see this dolphin play? It's already back again. It's like already back again. You can't even do it. Let's go. Let's look. What do we need to know? Again, be compassionate a little bit. Something else is going on, like we said, with all the hurricanes, with all the FEMA, with all the issues with tornadoes, with the way it all played out. There's something about taking leaps and bounds and chances. You can't even do it anymore. It's all like locked down again. It comes in so quick, like swift wind, like air, sharp, swift, and it hits you to where you go, I need this, like Crystalline Grid says, I need to take a break. I actually need to take a break. When I see this and I see Star Family, I go, there really is this whole thing that you can't see or mask. When you see creativity, you go, no, you can't even be it whatsoever. Why can't we be creative? Lock. There is a lock on it. When you see it and you go, Star Royalty? No. 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 You can't even believe who gets the royal everything. It's a huge timeline jump. I feel like it's a fail. F-A-L-E. Let's talk about folklore. Let's go to the rooms. What do we need to know about the folklore? I'd have to say what is obstructed about folklore is actually how it plays out to how it gives out. So when someone actually does witchcraft, like a hex usually has about 3 to 13 curses. And when you actually do it, you have to do an enchantment with it to a charm. And when you actually do it and you say it and you play it out and you put it right out there and you stick it to whatever is going on, they actually become defensive, whoever has like that stick on them. So when I actually see this and I go, there really is something about wholeheartedness. When I see it flows through, man, oh man, does a hex flow through, especially when it's lore. Really, when they say, no, I already told you, it's foretold. Let's break it down to simple, plain language of what foretelling is. I told you twice. If I have to tell you 3 times, it's going to be a go. So basically, when you go through it and you go to the point of ulcer, it really does happen, especially out here where I live in a part of Connecticut. It's a little bit Appalachia out here. It happens once in a while. Somebody got dinged. Now, when I look at it and I say, is it legal and lawful? Yes, per Nuremberg. Some people don't stay in their lane very well. Yeah. I'm reading a comment here by Dexter, and it says you had 2 vacations plans, and that you're meant literally, it doesn't matter. It's like a lock and a block. It's okay to say that. It really is. It's a free open chat, but basically when you see this, like something's like came in like a little too strong, and some people didn't really realize how strong it was. And when you see it and you actually look at it and you go, every time you turn around, it was, I had plans to do that. I had money like set aside. I lost money, everything. Like, I love you, mom and dad. I love you, parents, and all of it. But it really goes to show, like, you can't even do. So when I look at it, and I'm talking a little bit like how I usually talk, is I loop it through. So we're talking about lore and how everyone is like topsy turvy. So like flipping tables of like fate and destiny, and like how everything should be like planned out in their day, that you actually have to go through it and you go, holy cow, nope. There's something about like certain times of day with lore, and then certain times of the day, just pay attention to how it actually plays out. Patterns of behavior on what causes a freeze. So when you look at it, it like you take a cup of coffee and you're like, yeah, this tastes better for today. I don't know why. All of a sudden, like everything is okay. You're going along with it, and you see this, and you see It really does have to do with like point blank. Maybe it's probate, and maybe it's like the estate, maybe it's power of attorney, healthcare proxy, anything of that. And you go, I already reviewed that. Why am I doing it again? So when you see it and you actually see lore, the way it runs and loops through, it will literally do like 2 to 7 years, usually, on a hex lore. And that usually is such a stick it to it. Now, when you do it a folklore, it's already like foreknown. Foreknown actually goes to the point of like the highest extent of a known war, like Hatfields and McCoys over a peg. So you have to say point blank, is it over a peg that they weren't supposed to be married, or were they being derogatory about the woman? That is the actual like whole thing. It had to do with a gift. I can't even believe that came out of my mouth. So when I look at it, I say trolling. Yeah, this is what like the type of trolling that is. Like they would literally do this, and, like keep it going, and go like this. Mind you, I did not cast anything out. With such power, people actually had nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, ulcers around 1969 through 1981. They are wound up, they are bound up to actually, like, you can't get anything out of them. They're the ones that are like, all of a sudden, they can't get it out of them. I see cross. I see fire. I see that's the obstruction. You really can't see past that. You see this instinct, they will boil it down to instinct, whoever got trolled. That is when a lot of everything actually came through. When you see this and you see like, get it out of me. That's usually like, get it out of me right now. When I see this and I see Hagal, I go, cause a lot of havoc. Something about being born, like a new renewal. When I see this, I see long does an average bummer. How long does an average bummer like last summer? Basically, it all depends. It really all depends as far as summer for me and the family and anyone else around here in town. But at least out here in the summer, it's usually mucky. It usually is lay low because everything flows a little bit faster if you're going to do something, especially with the ponds. Let's see what else. A little bit more or less storms than it is in the south. So basically, it does feel shorter at times, especially when driving on through. This is what this means. So when we actually go down to like the occult, down to the occult tea, and we go right back up to what we were talking about, like the Illuminati and then the current events and the all-seeing eye, you have to say, was it time from like other things to be done? Can't even do. You can't even do. Here it is. All you need to know is that everything flips all of a sudden by mid-month. And all you need to know is that it's not exactly the flip that they wanted. Don't mind the noise in the background. But it is in the New England states. It is in everything that we're used to out here. To the point where you're looking at like daily events and daily occurrences and watching big media and like local news or anything like that, and you're like, I already know how like everything is going to be. So when I look at it and I say monetary imbalances to energy imbalances to where it is kind of like dead on end right up to the road, And I say that you can't actually finish a cycle in something because it ends so quick that you actually look at it and you go, I didn't really like that whatsoever. Really, there's something about not being as honorable as possible. When I look at it as like the next 24 hours, it's spunk. Let's end on spunk. So, with that being said, that's really all we have to say for the rest of the day. Any questions or concerns, leave a like, a comment, a share. It's greatly appreciated. An email, a subscribe. That's appreciated too. And we will talk to you soon. Have a good day.